Hey legends, what's up? It's Darkmech here, and Season 4 is upon us. The last season of Shadowlands is finally here, and it comes with a mixed up pool of dungeons, 3 fated raids on a rotation, and some new and old trinkets reappearing. So, what's best? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. It's the whole point of this video. So, to make life easy, I'm going to cover off all 6 tank specs in this video. I'm going to give you a list of general purpose trinkets and how they fare, plus strength only trinkets, agility only trinkets, and I'm going to finish up with defensive trinkets. And then, why are my arms doing this? There's a lot of this going on. So general purpose trinkets for tanks. We're going to start off here. So reactive defense matrix. So even in season 3, if you had a mythic item level version of this trinket, it was still really solid from a defensive and offensive point of view. Its return in season 4 makes it one of the best, if not the best tank trinket on offer once again. This trinket is a star both on offense and defensive. It automatically triggers at 20% HP, making it a pseudo cheat death trinket in that sense. This is an absolute all-star trinket if you are actively tanking a lot of the time. Mythic plus, big winner. Codex of the first technique. This is a bit of a story. So this trinket has gained growing momentum throughout the tanking community due to the amount of world-class keys that it has been featured in. The issue though is for 99.9% of the community, there are actually better trinket options available. In 9.2.5, a nerf snuck in which was then partially reverted, but the trinket no longer triggered from Brewmaster stagger, undulated maneuvers, or environmental damage, which was actually a really good thing as it stopped a bunch of ninja pulls. Codex has value in extremely high world keys, but outside this, it is hugely wanked off by the tanking community. To start with, Codex has stamina on it as opposed to primary, so you lose strength, damage, armor, and parry straight away. And then if you're not pushing keys that are of a high enough level, you're not even taking enough damage to go near the cap on the trinket for its reflective damage either. Now, lots of people say, but you use Codex for the 10% DR, not necessarily the reflect damage. Now, to counter this, you don't be a fucking idiot. It's a random proc 10% DR that you have no control over. Ticking Sack of Terror. So this still offers a decent amount of damage. The mastery is pretty underwhelming, but it's not horrible. Salia's secret technique. This is another way to generate more secondary stat. It was very powerful in patch 9.1 and it got balanced out in 9.2, but it is still a very good trinket. Elegy of the Eternals. This trinket provides a moderate amount of your highest secondary stat. It also shares some of that stat budget with party members who share your covenant. Stone Legion Heraldry. So this will be an option again come in season 4 at the higher item level with the return of Castle Nathria. However, do think there's going to be, well, there well and truly is better trinkets on hand for Mythic Plus. It might have a place in raiding if enough people get them and things like that though. I do kind of doubt that. Don't just see versatility on this and lose your shit. Eye of Command. Again, we see this trinket due to the welcome back of Return to Karazhan. In season 4, your melee attacks increase your critical strike by 3 for 10 seconds and it stacks up to 10 times. This effect is reset if your auto attacks hit a different target. So, from a raid perspective, this is a really solid DPS pass trinket. Salvaged Fusion Amplifier. So sticking with the offensive pass theme here, this is a really solid single target on use demand trinket. Generally one of the more favored DPS swap out options for Brewmasters, Vengence Demon Hunters, and Protection Warriors. So that's it for your sort of general purpose trinkets across all the tank classes. Now we're going to talk about agility only trinkets, and there's really only one that I want to talk about, and that's Cache of Acquired Treasures. So this gives you the choice of 3 weapons, a sword, an axe, and a wand. The value of this trinket is based heavily on the bleed effect from the axe, so you generally go with the axe like 99% of the time. The wand can produce a large-scale single nuke though, which is scaled via versatility, and it can crit. Swapping over to the strength side of trinkets, a strength-only trinket that we have access to is Old Warrior's Soul. Now this offers a huge amount of stat budget required that you stay in combat. The heroic and mythic level was still a rock solid option in season 3, and the trinket returning at a higher item level in season 4 doesn't change that, even with the 10% haste nerf. The trinket, provided that you can keep your stacks up, is one of the best available options this season for strength users. Moving on to the defensive side of trinkets, Shard of Annhylde's Aegis. So this absorbs a flat damage amount from every hit that originates from a source in front of you whilst it is active. Now it's not great against big tank buster hits, but it is fantastic against large mob packs with multiple mobs hitting you all at once. It doesn't offer much in the offensive value side of things, but it is ridiculously strong from a defensive point of view. Do note, it's pretty situational on a blood DK, but for other tanks, especially Prot Paladin, it is absolutely fantastic. A side note for Brewmasters around this trinket is the trinket absorbs damage after stagger is calculated, and it also absorbs staggered damage. So it is a pretty giga trinket across the board. There are two pure cheat death trinket options present in Season 4, Weave of the Warp Fates and Splintered Heart of Allah. Now both have a very similar cap, 88,502 for Allah, 88,503 for Weave of Warp Fates. Both can only proc once every 8 minutes. Allah comes with a DPS bonus when it's procced, and as long as no allies are within 2 yards, you probably won't kill them. So technically, it gains an edge if you are proccing it off cooldown as such, because you get the damage bonus from it. The First Sigil, I've included this in the defensive category. You could spin this multiple, different ways. It can be lined up with burst damage as well, especially with a weapon like Gavel, but generally it has a huge 5-minute CD on it. It's great if you need to use it on a particular mechanic. I think it has more value in a raid environment over Mythic Plus. So with all that in mind, let's talk about some combos that you can run for your tank of choice. Now, these combinations I'm going to give you cover off general purpose application, like 95% of the player base's content. You could run these baseline recommendations and you would be fine. If you don't require as much defensive value in these baseline recommendations, then you can swap in offensive things. So for the blood DK, gonna go with Old Warrior's Soul and Reactive Defense Matrix as your baseline setup. Guardian Druid, Cache of Acquired Treasures and Reactive Defense Matrix. Protection Paladin, Old Warrior's Soul and Shard of Annhylde's Aegis. I will say, you could make a case for swapping in Reactive Defense Matrix, but probably only on Mythic Plus. Brewmaster, Shard of Annhylde's Aegis and Reactive Defense Matrix. Protection Warrior, Old Warrior's Soul and Reactive Defense Matrix. And lastly, Vengence Demon Hunter, Shard of Annhylde's Aegis and Reactive Defense Matrix. So you can see pretty common themes throughout all 6 tank classes there. So that is it. Hopefully this gives you some confidence in regards to what to target for your tanking trinkets in Season 4. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. See you, fam. I did it!